Hi, and welcome to Chamber Chat, a partnership with Western Oregon University, WIMPEG, and the Monmouth Independence Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Center, in which we feature our members so our community can get to know them better. Joining me today is April White, who's a business administrator with White's Collision Service. Thanks, April, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So now, your business has been in our community for a number of years. Why here? Why the Monmouth Independence, Dallas, Polk County area?
Well, we lived here, and so originally we opened a shop over in Dallas in 2000. Then in 2005 we got an opportunity to purchase a shop over here in Independence. So we did that. Later in 2005 we opened another facility. We had an opportunity to take over the Joe Hayward Ford auto body shop. So we did that. We continued with our original shop for about 6 to 8 months just to kind of transfer over work. Then most recently last year we opened what we call our fleet shop over in Dallas. We actually bought a new facility and built a new auto body shop and left our fleet shop over at the Joe Hayward Ford location. Then this summer we purchased a shop over in Silverton. So
it's been really busy.
It's been busy
so
life.
It started
Yep.
2000.
2000.
We're now towards the end of 2015, so 15 years going strong.
Mm-hmm.
Been able to change the venue to meet your needs and expand at the same time, and okay.
Yep, growing.
So tell us real quick, what all does White's Collision Service do?
Well, the main thing that we do is if you've been in a collision, an automobile accident, we fix your car, put it back to the way it was before. Usually better.
And is this something that you personally have always had an interest in, working with cars?
Not me. My husband is third generation, and so it was on my husband's side of the family. I kind of just got involved back when we opened. We opened right after Josh and I got married. 3 months later, we opened the first White's Collision Service, and then I've been involved actively ever since then.
All right. So why Polk County? Why have the businesses here, now in Silverton, but why Polk County?
Originally, the reason that we moved here was Josh's brother had some disabilities, and so he came here for the schools.
Okay.
So that was the reason we originally came to Polk County.
So now you've lived here obviously for a number of years. What would you say is one of the unique features about Polk County that really helps separate us from other areas?
Well, there's a lot of great stuff here. The people in Independence, when we moved over here, it was so welcoming. People were really nice, dealing with the city and everything. They were very, very helpful and really did want to grow business. You could feel the difference between different places, and they truly are trying to grow and make this community better.
I would definitely agree with that. There's been a lot. I've lived here since 2011, so not quite as long, and just the changes that I've seen. I've been with the Chamber since 2012, and it's just been a lot of fun to watch, just the growth in that short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So for 2000, you've seen a lot.
Yeah, and they are doing a lot of stuff and making a lot of difference, and doing things that will make a difference too.
So as far as you, what would you say has been one of your greatest professional accomplishments?
That's such a good question. You know, when we opened our new shop here in last spring in Dallas, actually, when we opened that facility, it's a state-of-the-art facility, and everybody says it's probably one of the nicest ones in Oregon. And so I would say that's our biggest accomplishment. We really went all out and just went technology forward and have been leaders rather than followers.
So what has helped really separate you then from the others as far as the technology?
It's just the technology. Part of it has to do with our age and being younger generation, but our industry is really moving leaps and bounds forward in technology, just like on your cars today versus, back in 2000 we had airbags and seatbelts in cars, and now we have self-parking, we have accident avoidance systems. In most new cars have some form, I think it's like 80% of them have some form of accident avoidance system in them. computers, technology. It's just every single aspect of the car has more technology in it. And so we've just taken steps to be ahead of that and learn about it and have the knowledge to actually do repairs on those kinds of vehicles and do proper repairs, making sure things are safe and up to standards.
Well, yeah, when you think about technology in general, how phones have changed, or computers and tablets and laptops, and you think about your car and how much computer-driven cars are, you would have to stay on top of that if you want to be the best at what you do, which would be challenging, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's very challenging, and I think a lot of people are falling behind, and we've really just tried to stay on top of it. They just released to the public, you can buy a self-driving car, so no drivers came out this year in the beginning of January of 2015. And so that's where we're going, and they have the whole community that they started where it's all self-driving cars. That's not going so well, but it's coming, and it's in our near future. So
wow, that's
in the very, very close future.
I think about my grandparents who, what they saw in their life, and that would just be almost like a Jetsons cartoon.
Yeah, exactly.
So distant like that. So personally speaking, what would you say has been one of your greatest personal accomplishments?
Well, that'd be my kids. I have a 7-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old son. Both of them going to school now, so it's very fun and exciting.
So, what are their thoughts on school? Like, do they look forward to going in the mornings, or?
Akira loves school. She's my daughter, and she absolutely loves it. Ezra mostly likes gym time, and so, but outside of that, he doesn't hate going to school. He's still in nap time at school too, so he likes napping, eating, and gym and recess. So. But outside of that, he's not a big fan.
Nap time's always good.
I know, he loves nap time. He's like, can I stay till nap time today? Sure, take a nap at school.
So, as far as White's Collision, you're obviously a chamber member with the Monmouth Independence Chamber, and what would you say has been some of the better benefits for your membership?
I'd just like to get to know the other people in the community, and it's part of just keeping the community close is by having a good solid chamber so that people are getting to know each other, what the needs are of the community, and it just helps people to know who's there and who they can count on.
I know one of the forums that you attended several months back, we got to do a tour of Eola Hills wine cellars.
That was awesome.
And to be honest, there was not a large number of people who showed up for that forum that day. It was a really nice forum, and it was really fun getting to know you that day a little bit as we were touring the facility. Obviously had a few tastes as Steve was going around like, you got to try this one. But that was a fun kind of a way to get to know people in a very informal, relaxed setting, I thought.
Yeah, no, exactly. That was my favorite chamber meeting of all times.
We'll see if we can get another one of those lined up for next year. We're in October right now, so we're looking towards 2016.
Yeah, no, but you just get to meet people, and you get to know the other business people on a kind of a closer, more personal level.
Yeah, I agree. That's also a fun component for me with my job is as I get to interact with business owners or employees or organizational leaders, just the networking. So my favorite question that I get asked people in doing these chamber chats, it may not always be the one that people like to answer the most, but it's my favorite to ask. What would you say is a skill or a hobby or an interest that you have that would surprise people?
I was thinking about that one on the way over. I would say that it's probably cooking. I actually have a culinary degree. I got a culinary degree before I went to business school. So I have a culinary degree first, then I have a business econ degree. And so I don't use that except for in my home life, really. But people are always surprised. They're like, what, you cook? Where do you have time for that? And it's like, we make 3 meals a day at our house, so everything is from homemade.
That's impressive because I am not a cook. I mean, I can, but really a culinary degree and the business degree, and you're up to date with all the car technology. So, wow, that's impressive. That's a nice bag of tricks, so to say.
Exactly.
Well, April, I really appreciate you joining us today and letting us get to know you a little bit better, and thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Hi, Hi, and welcome back to Chamber Chat. Joining me now is Al Alcalde, who is our new fire chief for Polk County Fire District Number 1. Thanks, Al, for being here today.
Thank you very much, Gina. I'm glad to be here.
So now you're new. Like, you haven't been around that long. Why Polk County? Why did you choose to move to the Monmouth Independence area?
Well, I get that question quite often, Gene. I've been only here 3 weeks, and people ask me about that. My last position, I was in Oak Ridge in Oregon, so that was, I think, a good fit coming here to Polk County. We're very similar in size and also in what we do, service. Here at Polk County, we have 3 ambulances that we provide to the community, and in Oak Ridge we had the same thing, where we had 3 ambulances that we're providing in a rather large, what we call an ambulance service area. So I thought it would be a good fit with my experience. I've worked in very large departments. I was a member of the Clark County Fire Department in Las Vegas, Nevada, which is a large combination fire department of 1,000 members, which had 13 volunteer stations and another 350 volunteers. And so I've worked with very small agencies, the city of Dundee in Yamhill County, where it was 15 volunteer firefighters total. So
Oh, wow.
I was looking for a good mix, someplace that had not only paid firefighters, but also volunteers, which Polk offers here.
So not too big, not too small. It's
Right.
just right.
Plus, I like a small community feel. I can really tell by being here 3 weeks how everybody supports the fire department. So I like that feel too. And in a larger agency, you can sometimes get lost.
Right.
But in a smaller community, everybody knows people here, and so I like that as well.
Yeah, it's definitely a pretty close-knit community. When you
Yeah.
look at Monmouth and Independence, and if you just put even Polk County as a whole, it's a very
Yeah.
comfortable place to live.
Yes, I think exactly.
So with the fire department, you're wearing pink. It's
Yes, I'm
October,
wearing pink today.
so tell me about that.
Oh, it's October, and pink. Traditionally, the firefighters have helped out in promoting awareness for Breast Cancer Research Foundation. And something that I didn't even know is that every 2 minutes, an individual or a woman in the U.S. is diagnosed with breast cancer. So what we're trying to do is to promote that awareness and maybe get somebody to go to their website and kind of learn a little bit more about breast cancer.
Nice.
So,
And as someone who, my mother and her sister, so my maternal aunt, both of them are breast cancer survivors. So I'm always very happy to see when people are supporting the cause and making awareness, if nothing else.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So thank you for what you're doing with
Sure,
that.
sure.
So is there anything else going on with the fire department?
October also brings Fire Prevention Month, or actually it used to be Fire Prevention Day, and a lot of people don't know the story behind that. Initially it was started because of a great Chicago fire that occurred in 1871, and where 300 people lost their lives. And on that particular day as well, there was also a fire in Wisconsin where 1,500 people lost their lives. So what happened was 50 years later, they started promoting that this is going to be Fire Prevention Day to commemorate those days. And so that has grown from Fire Prevention Day to Fire Prevention Week to where the governor of Oregon just proclaimed Fire Prevention Month. And so we're really supportive of fire prevention aspects of our job, and it's very important. One of the things they like to talk about is hear the beep where you sleep. So there was days when one smoke detector was enough in a house, where now they're promoting smoke detectors not only at every level of the house, but also in the hallways and also in the bedrooms now.
So hear a beep where you
Hear
sleep.
the beep where you sleep.
Nice. All right.
So
Little rhymes are really easy for kids to remember, particularly, and adults.
Yes, exactly.
So do you have any particular outreach that you're doing for Fire Prevention Month?
Typically, we provide we just had an open house, and so we allowed folks to come to our station and to learn more about fire prevention and other things that we do in the fire service. And in addition to that, if you're looking for smoke detectors, this is a good time to replace your smoke detectors. I went to a call just a couple days ago where we went to a really nice house, and while we're in the home, I like to look around to see, if they have working smoke detectors. And I was really surprised that there wasn't one smoke detector in this very nice house. So I talked to the person. I said, "Wow, what's going on here? Why don't you have a smoke detector?" And she said, "Oh, these are just occurred. I'm going to get them replaced, and the batteries." Needed to be replaced. Today's smoke detectors are much better. They have a longer life, so when you replace them now, they last up to 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Right, so.
Well, that's good to know.
Right. And if anybody wants a smoke detector, they can call the American Red Cross. The American Red Cross may provide them, a smoke detector.
Well, that's also very good to know.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's great.
So now, as you professionally speaking, and again, you just got here, but what would you say has been one of your greatest professional accomplishments?
From working here?
Or in
from-
general?
In
'Cause,
general?
Yeah, 3 weeks into the job, I don't know.
Yeah. There's, I haven't had a lot of opportunity.
Right.
I'm meeting a lot of people. I've worked in a lot of different places. When I was in Las Vegas, we had a rather large high-rise fire, which I was involved in, and so it felt good to be involved in that. It was the Monte Carlo fire. Fortunately, we responded very quickly, and no one was injured, and we were able to evacuate the building, and so I feel very, very good about that. It happened on my birthday, so I was supposed to go out that evening, but it turned out that wasn't going to happen.
Right.
So we spent quite a few hours there on scene.
So it's a high rise.
It was a high-rise
And
facility.
no injuries.
No injuries.
Wow.
The hotel employees knew what to do. The alarm went off. They evacuated everybody safely, and everything turned out well for.
Nice.
Now the hotel was closed for several hours, but eventually got back up and running.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, it's a city that never sleeps, right?
Right.
Vegas, so
Yeah,
they won't be closed
exactly.
too long.
Exactly.
Now, what would you say has been one of your greatest personal accomplishments?
Personal accomplishments. I received my degree. I have a bachelor's in fire service administration. I got that degree when Eastern and Western Oregon University were working together, and it was a new program back then. And so it's one of the more highly respected programs for fire administration. So I feel very good that I was able to obtain that degree, and I support our firefighters that want to obtain, higher education. So we're here on on Western Oregon's campus, so we really
Nice.
promote that higher education.
So, firefighting, is it something you've always wanted to do since you were a small child? Is it one of those things that you just knew this was what you wanted, that you would do? Or was it something you found yourself doing?
When I was smaller, when we do these tours, we see the little kids there, and they all
Right.
say they want to be a firefighter. I wasn't really that person. I was a little bit older. I was in high school when I tried to figure out what I was going to do, and I saw all the firefighters around my neighborhood, and I thought, wow, that's a great profession, I think. And so actually people were surprised as I became a paramedic early in my career,
Okay.
and they were really surprised that I would do something like that. So
All right, and we have some photos here.
yeah.
So there was one of you with a fight, fighting, or as a training exercise, I believe.
Yes.
And here would be
It's a banquet that we were having, and we have a similar banquet here in Polk County Fire District Number 1. What we do, it's going to be in March.
okay, and Santa.
This is some of the many community events that we did there in Elk Ridge. So we had an event where we did Christmas parade with the lighting of the fire vehicles, and it went around the community, and the community really appreciated those kind of things.
Well, you'll have that opportunity here.
Wow.
Western Oregon does a big tree lighting event on campus. It's usually the first Friday, I believe, in December. And there's a parade, and then Independence does a parade of lights on usually that following Saturday. And so then you can wrap the fire trucks with lights and whatnot,
Oh,
and they can be
great.
in both parades. So you
There
get
you go.
two
Yeah.
opportunities to celebrate that way.
That's great.
Now, my favorite question I get to ask, what is a skill or a hobby or an interest that you have that might surprise people?
Well, I guess today what might surprise people is I used to be a pretty good runner. Back in the day, I was about a 4:30 miler, which was pretty good, when I was younger, in my younger days. And so, that was a skill that surprises most people. I ran a marathon in about 3 hours. And
Oh,
so,
wow.
yeah, but that was quite a long time ago. I worked with Oregon Special Olympics, and those skills I transferred to that. And actually, I was the head coach for an Oregon team that went to Minneapolis, an international team. They were being held in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I took a team from Oregon, track and field. So,
Wow.
yeah, that was kind of exciting for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was exciting for the athletes as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I was also in Vogue magazine, because of my participation with Oregon Special Olympics. So.
Well, see, now that's something that would
Yeah.
surprise people. Not too many people can say that they were in, you said Vogue magazine.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not really something that's on a lot of resumes out there.
Yeah, when I was in Las Vegas, I was part of a leadership forum, and one of the things they did is just that. They said, well, say something that somebody may not, believe, and then they would try to see if it was true or false, or who it was that did that. So I indicated that, and people said, wow, we didn't think that would be you.
Right. Surprise.
Right. Yeah.
Well, Al, thank you so much for joining me with Chamber Chat. Glad to
Thank
have
you.
you here, and welcome to our community.
Thank you very much, Jane. Appreciate it.
Hi, And welcome back to Chamber Chat. Joining me now is Robin Puccetti, who is the Community Services Director for the City of Independence. Thanks, Robin, for being here.
Thanks, Jean. I'm happy to be here.
So now, I know you've been in this area for a while. We were just chatting a little bit before we started. You're not originally from Polk County. So why here? Why did you move to Polk County, to the Independence area?
I would love to say it was for some, great reason. There was a job.
That is a great reason.
It was the best choice I ever made, but I originally came for the job.
So the job with the library?
Yes.
So you started with the library, and it's obviously home. I mean, that's...
It is.
Okay.
I expected to be here, 2 to 5 years, and almost 30 years later, I'm happily
So
living
what
in
all
Independence.
do you do with the library? I mean, you're Community Services Director, which we can get to that, but you came here for the library. So what all do you do? What does that mean?
I am the library director, which means I work with all of our wonderful staff at the library to provide services to our community, and then through the regional library to people throughout Polk, Yamhill, and Marion counties.
Okay, so you've got a nice photo there of a very beautiful building that you have. When did that come about?
The new library opened in September of 2003, and we're delighted to be there. We're now bursting at the seams.
Is it time for another? No.
We'll talk in a few years.
Right. Well, the Chamber office, as you know, we previously were located in the historic public library,
Yes.
not the old. Nancy Lodge, council member Nancy Lodge, and she volunteers at the Chamber, has been very adamant. She was like, it is not the old public library, it's the historic public library.
And it is in the historic district and is
Yes.
on the historic register, yes.
But that's a great resource that you have with the Friends of the Independence Library, being able to sell the books, having a space for that.
It has been a wonderful thing for them to have that space. They have their book sales there. We're also now partnering with the Ashwick Art Center, and they're holding their events at the historic library. So
Because again, you have that open room and some space there, so it's great to see it be used.
it is, and it's been a nice collaboration.
Especially as you are bursting at the seams, apparently, at the new library.
We receive many donations throughout the year, and so many of them do go into our collection. The rest are sold, and the proceeds come back to support all of the programming at the library.
Okay, so with your job, is there anything coming up? We're filming this in the beginning of October. So do you have any announcements, anything coming up for the winter months?
Well, the next thing coming up is the downtown trick or treat in on October 30th this year. That will be on the Friday, and that's in conjunction with the Downtown Association. There will be a similar event in Monmouth, so it's a good chance for kids to go out and have some safe trick or treat time.
And it is a lot of fun to look at the kids in the costumes, and some of the parents dress up too. I've noticed that over the years, and you can tell what the trendy costume is by you seeing multiple ones. So what would you say has been your greatest professional accomplishment?
Probably the opening of the new library in 2003. That was a 17-year project to get that done.
Wow, 17
So,
years.
Yeah, it was obvious when I came here we were bursting at the seams in the old library, but it took a while to put that together.
Well, but it was done. You have a beautiful facility.
It's done, and the community is using it to a very large extent. So
Well, I know the Chamber, we have a lot of, we've scheduled multiple meetings, educational workshops, events in your meeting space, and that's a great resource to have for the community, a place for people to go and have a meeting during your hours. You can have it in the evenings. Like it's a very nice resource.
there are many weeks where we have something every night in the meeting room. So that was one of the things that when we were looking at what needed to go into the new library, and we surveyed people, community meeting space was right at the top of the list.
I mean, obviously you have books and you have the computers and you have the other resources that a library, but the meeting space is really important, I find.
It is definitely used by the broader community.
So now, on a personal level, what would be one of your greatest personal accomplishments?
Probably having the opportunity to interact and be part of a number of the organizations in the community that really make a difference to the community, and that's been a wonderful opportunity.
Because I know you wear a lot of different hats. You're integral with the dog park, with the Critter Parade that was just held during the Hoffman
That was
Heritage
fun.
Festival, but you definitely, your title of Community Services Director definitely means that there's more than just the library. That
I work quite a bit with the museum, with the Heritage Museum, and then whatever other projects happen to just sort of dangle and need somebody to get in and work on them. So it makes it fun. I like the variety.
Well, you definitely stay busy. I go to the IDA meetings, the Independence Downtown Association meetings, or go to just other events that are happening, and you're always around. And you're usually involved in the planning of these events, not just there as a spectator or participant, but it seems you're involved in the behind the scenes as well.
Well, again, I've been very lucky. We have some great organizations in the community, so I'm involved with the Lions Club and the Downtown Association, and then also with the Art Center, which has been nice because they're in that space. And so that it's been, most recently, I've been appointed to the board for the food bank, which is something that's very near and dear, and I'm looking forward to being involved with that.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So you've lived here for a number of years. What would you say is one of those concepts, or what makes Polk County, what makes Independence, Monmouth, what makes our area unique or special?
It's the people. It is the most welcoming area that I've ever been to. People are very welcoming. When I moved to town, again, I thought 2 to 5 years. But I have no desire to leave because I was so welcomed. And it's nice to now be able to welcome others to the community. So it really does come down to the people. We have some nice amenities. We have great parks. We have a nice theater. We've got lots of great events. But when push comes to shove, it's the people that live here.
I'll agree. I lived here as a resident for a year before I started working with the chamber, and so I got to know people just as Jean in that year. And then, of course, the chamber job, get to know a lot more people because of the nature of the job. But it was a fun year pre-chamber of just shopping or going to restaurants or attending the events as I was learning about the community. And yeah, it's very warm and just welcoming.
I can remember when I first moved here, walking into Taylor's Fountain, and everybody said hi. That doesn't happen everywhere.
Right.
So.
Kind of like the scene from Cheers, the TV show, like, Norm, you go walk in. It's like, no, people actually, they do that.
Yes.
So as far as the chamber, the City of Independence is a member, the library specifically is a member. What would you say are some of the benefits of chamber membership for the library or for the city?
Well, the chamber has offered some wonderful training opportunities, social media, just a variety of different, business things that do apply even in public service. And then also just the chance to network with the businesses that are in town to make sure that they know what we have to offer. We've been able to, show them that we have databases and things that are business oriented, and also just so they know that we're there. And we often go looking, and asking for their help, and our businesses have been very supportive.
Good. I like networking, and that's a very common response to that question. But I think it's the benefit of a small community of when you get to know people, and through the networking, you know what that business or organization offers. They get to know what you offer, and then you can start putting those pieces together of how you can help each other thrive more successfully.
We have a lot of people that visit us on the weekend, when the visitor center is closed, and we're able to, when they come in and say, I need a restaurant, I need this, I need that, we know where to send them.
Good. Now, my favorite question, I'll say this every time, what is a skill or a hobby or an interest, something that you do that might surprise people?
Well, for the last 14 years or so, I've been involved with a dog agility group. And so my old dog is now heading towards 15 and no longer does that. But I have a new little border collie that will start training next week to do some, all those fun jumps and weave pulls and all of the fun of events. So
I have a friend who lives down in Medford, and every year she works with a friend of hers up in Portland at the dog show. I don't know which dog show because I'm sure there's more than one, but I went up last year and I was watching some of the dog agility.
It's fun.
Oh my goodness, it was
addictive.
Really
If you have an active dog who really needs a job, it is totally addictive.
Yeah, and the dogs of all sizes, tall, short.
Chihuahuas up.
Yep, and it was just really fun, and I I found myself standing there a lot longer than I thought I would, just watching. It was so much, this is so cute. So interesting. So 14 years you've been doing this.
Yes. A lot of the times I've, been doing things sort of behind the scenes, but every once in a while I get out and run. And now I will be running with my new puppy.
Well, great. Well, good luck with the training
Thank
for the
you.
agility course. And thank you so much for being here and being a part of Chamber Chat today.
Thank you.